This has to be one of the most bizarre office stories on Reddit. Here we go. Today, I f***ed up by making a girl I like laugh so hard, she ended up in the hospital. And I almost lost my job. So there's this girl I like at work, and we're good friends. We're having a lunch and making ironic depression meme jokes, as friends do. For some reason, in my annoyingly stupid way to get her to laugh, I said, well, hey, you know what's just one letter away from sad? Dab. And promptly did the deed. Also, I can cry on demand, so I just stared at her with a stone face and let 2 tears fall. She finds it hilarious. So funny, in fact, she drops to the floor, laughing her ass off. After about 30 seconds, she starts grabbing her chest and coughing. I ask if she's okay, and she begins wheezing and convulsing a bit. Freaking out, I think she's having a damn seizure, so I start reaching for my phone. At that exact moment, my manager randomly walks in. He sees me, a big guy, towering over the poor girl on the floor. I manage to cut off her impending rage by saying, I think she's having a seizure and that I'm calling 911. Fortunately, I was able to explain the situation after the ambulance arrived. Turns out she has asthma, and my joke caused a flare-up. She was waving her arms, trying to tell me to get her inhaler. Whoops. Here's some updates to the story. Hey y'all, remember me? Yesterday I made a post about almost killing a girl by making her laugh too hard, which caused an asthma flare-up. Well, thanks to the incredible support from the Reddit community, I got hundreds of messages urging me to go for it. I asked her out, and guess what? After promising it likely wouldn't result in another hospital trip, she said yes. We're going out this Friday for dinner. I know some people warned me about dating people at work, but after what happened, I think I'm kind of obligated by the universe to go for it. Thanks for giving me the courage to do it. I was gonna flake out, so remember, ladies and gents, if you ever have a crush on someone, just dab on them. If it works for the haters, it'll work with the lovers. There's a last edit here. Thanks for all the awesome support, guys. Just for the hell of it, I'll be posting updates on how it goes on Date from a Dab, if you're interested. All right, let's look at what the Reddit comments had to say. One commenter shared, my partner had to ban a game that I used to play with her daughter because it made both of us laugh so hard. We each had asthma attacks. Someone nearly died reading the story and said, I laughed so hard, I choked on my food. Some commenters warned about joking too much. They shared, be careful with humor at work. It can get out of control quickly. According to commenters, is the original poster right or wrong? The majority, about 85%, thought the whole thing was hilarious and could not stop laughing. However, 10% of people felt the humor went too far and warned against joking like that in the workplace. 5% of people were a little more concerned with the idea of dating coworkers, even though the story ended on a positive note. What do you think of the story? Did he do right? Did he do wrong? What would you have done? She looked me dead in the eye and said, meow. Here's the story. I was having a casual morning, nothing special, and went to work, saying my good mornings and hellos as usual. Never had any weird situation occur in over 2 years until yesterday. I walked in and said hello to one of the coworkers. She was female, and she looked at me dead in the eye and said, meow. Now I'm standing there like, what do I say? There's this awkward silence, and the lady is still looking at me, waiting for a response. Everyone else is busy, so I'm 90% sure they didn't hear the meow. So I did the only logical thing any normal human would do. I meowed the heck back while staring her dead in the eye. The only problem was, my meow was about 10 times louder. So most of the office floor looked at me, saw me staring at a coworker, dead in the eyes, meowing. I'm not sure what they thought, but no one spoke to me for the rest of the day. What a day. Here's an update to the story. So, one of you did me dirty. I was already feeling skeptical because the post had blown up bigger than I thought. Anyway, I go to work a bit nervous. I walk inside, and everyone usually says hi, hello, etc. But everyone's minding their own business. Not a single person says anything. I'm thinking I'll quickly get over to my desk, as I'm looking for the meowing coworker secretly, but I can't find her anymore. Just wanted to see if there was any awkwardness, but she's nowhere to be found. I thought that was a bit weird, but I walked over to my desk and I kid you not, someone put catnip on my desk and left a paper with a screenshot of this comment. I don't know why, but I got this bad feeling someone from work has read my post. What the actual someone I work with was definitely on this thread. I can't tell who it is, but I feel like everyone was looking at me and then looking away. Like the whole office knows, but there's no one saying anything. The whole day went by and I didn't hear anything from anyone. Now, out of all these people, how am I going to find that person? And if the Meowing coworker is reading this, I wanted to woof at you today. Just kidding. But where are you? For real. All right, that was the story. Let's look at what Reddit commenters had to say. Most people seem to think meowing back was the right move. They say, you did the right thing. Many fans thought it was the perfect response to a unique situation. A few people went all in with their advice. One commenter said, you should have brushed up against her legs like a cat. Another suggested going full-on aggressive with a hiss and a swipe. Some share their own meowing experiences. I meow sometimes too, no idea why, but it happens. It's kind of a weird moment, but apparently not so rare. And now, let's reveal the opinion of the internet. Let's break it down. 80% of people supported the poster's decision to meow back. After all, if you're gonna get meowed at, you might as well do it back. Only 15% of people thought he could have gone even more extreme and brushed up against the coworker like a cat or even hissed. And surprisingly, 5% of people felt he should have ignored it and walked away. Alright, so it's pretty clear the majority of people thought he did okay by meowing back. The real fun is in how people thought he could have gone even further. What would you have done? Please let us know in the comments below. At the end of this story, you'll find out how leftover food can cause some serious drama. Let's go. Am I the asshole because I took all of the leftover food after a work party? I've worked at this company for 3 years, and my 3-year anniversary aligns with my significant other's proposing and with me getting promoted. I expected at least something from my coworkers, small party gifts, nothing fancy. I was pretty hurt when I came in that week and found nothing at all. There were some congratulations and well wishes, but that was it. I later poured my heart out to my significant other, expressing how uncared for I felt. He contacted one of my coworkers, who was soon to be my employee, and she went to my manager to set something up. They had a little buffet in the break room with the usual veggie platter, dips, chips, cookies, tarts, brownies, and some banners. At the end of the day, I took the leftovers home, along with the plates and Tupperware they came in. The coworker texted me the next day asking if I took the sweets that she made along with the plates. I said yes, and she got very aggressive. She wanted to keep the leftovers in the break room for others that hadn't been able to attend the party. Nowhere did she say this was just for me. She also said she needed the platter back because she was making a birthday cake for her niece. My partner and I both agreed it was wrong for her to text me like that, and since it was my party and I wanted the leftovers, I deserved them. But she thinks I should apologize to keep the peace. I don't see the point of apologizing if I'm not wrong. There's an update to the story. Here we go. Stop saying I forced my partner to contact my coworker. That was his decision, and I never implied I approved or wanted him to do that. I try to make my employees feel special and celebrate their achievements. I had higher expectations of them than I should have. That was my mistake. All right, let's take a close look at what Reddit commenters had to say. A lot of people felt that the original poster was wrong for taking everything home without asking. Some said it was inconsiderate, especially since the coworker had plans for the plates. One comment read, "It's a basic office courtesy to leave the leftovers for everyone. Don't just take everything for yourself." A few people thought the coworker overreacted. They said it wasn't a big deal and that the original poster had the right to take the food home. But this was definitely a minority group. As one person said, it's just leftovers. Why make a huge deal out of it? Some felt that the poster was unaware of office culture, especially since she was about to become a manager. They warned, this kind of behavior can damage your reputation. Taking the Tupperware, big mistake when you're about to lead a team. And here's the opinion of Reddit. Around 75% of the comments agreed that the actions were inconsiderate and unprofessional. Only 25% thought the coworker was being too harsh about the Tupperware. What do you think? Should she have left the leftovers or taken them home? Let us know in the comments below. Do you like this content? Subscribe. Do you have any coworker who's always on track, never stresses out, and manages everything perfectly? Well, here's a story for you. My coworker is a totally normal person, and he fascinates me. My coworker fascinates me. He has no mental health issues, like most people I know. He's not on any medication, and he's physically healthy. I've had to explain my panic attacks, my anxiety, and my medication to him because he's never experienced or heard of them. Everyone that I know seems like a mess. And the contrast between them, myself, and him is just striking. It's like he's a machine. Some other things of note, he's never late, doesn't oversleep, and he sleeps well. He doesn't have any meltdowns, never has any shutdowns, no allergies, no food sensitivities, at least none that he knows of. He works out daily, either at home or at the gym, has no chronic health issues at all. He doesn't get stuck or freeze at any time. He doesn't have any issues while driving, he knows where he's going without his phone, detours do not bother him. When things fall apart, he adapts and just moves on. He can talk to anyone casually. When a big decision needs to be made, he just makes it. He follows through with what he says he'll do. He solves problems without Googling. He just knows the answers. He doesn't feel the need to keep his phone on him like we do all day. He doesn't use or even care about social media at all. Now, let's see what Reddit commenters had to say in the comments. A lot of people were feeling a bit jealous, but also inspired. One commenter said, "Let it fuel you to become the person you want to be." Some people think that this calm coworker is just really good at hiding any struggles. One user said, "Some people just don't have that level to reflect on the past or take on those emotions." Others expressed how different their own lives felt in comparison. One person commented, "It's like he's living life on easy mode." Here's the breakdown of results. 85% of comments agreed that people like this coworker are just better at managing life's challenges. They seem to handle everything with ease and confidence, which motivated many viewers to want to live more like him. A smaller group, around 25%, think that this coworker is hiding some deeper struggles, or he's just really good at keeping them hidden. It's a split opinion, but still a valid one. What do you think? Is he hiding something, or is he just Mr. Perfection? Here's the story. I'm one of the good white people. I'm a 32-year-old male, white, and potentially in trouble at work. Though I don't feel I deserve it. My new coworker Anna, a 23-year-old woman of Asian descent, recently joined our office. She brings lunch on days when there's no food truck. On Thursday, she heated a homemade stir-fry in our shared microwave, and it smelled amazing. I complimented her on it and asked about the recipe. She mentioned it was a mix of ingredients to avoid waste. While telling people how good it smelled, I also mentioned that some people might find it too smelly or ethnic, referring to how people can be biased against ethnic foods. I'd read stories about microaggressions in similar situations, and I wanted to warn her so she wouldn't face that kind of treatment. I emphasized that I thought it smelled good. After she left the room, a few coworkers commented it was inappropriate for me to bring that up. I explained my intention, saying that the food from different cultures is sometimes unfairly judged or mocked, and I thought avoiding it could help her avoid harassment. One coworker said I was the one making it an issue, since she'd only started last week and hadn't had the time to be harassed. I was just trying to help her feel welcome, even if some people at the office might be biased. I didn't think much of it until the next morning when I heard that Anna had spoken to HR and she felt hurt by our conversation. I was frustrated she hadn't talked to me first, since I was just trying to look out for her. She seemed to avoid me today, which was sad. I genuinely wanted to be a friend, especially since this was one of her first jobs after undergrad. But now, coworkers think I'm a racist, even though I try hard to be an ally. I just didn't want her to experience negativity. There's an edit on this story, which goes, "I get it, I'm the asshole. What I said was misguided. I remember starting my career and dealing with unkind people, and I didn't want her to go through that. But I ended up being like the people who made my early career miserable. I plan to apologize to her in a professional way on Tuesday, and hope she doesn't quit or that I don't get fired. Thank you all for helping me see things more clearly." Alright, so let's take a look at what the Reddit commenters had to say. Most commenters agree that his intentions do not excuse the impact of his words. One person summed it up perfectly. Even if you mean well, what you say still matters. Others pointed out that calling her food ethnic and suggesting it might be a problem only made things worse. A lot of people said that he was the one bringing bias into the situation, not protecting her from it. On the other hand, another group of people understood where he was coming from, but they still thought he handled it quite poorly. And now, drumroll please, let's reveal the opinion of the internet. 85% of people say that he was wrong, and his comment was completely inappropriate. 15% of people said he meant well, but he still made a mistake. That makes a full 100% of people who thought he's the asshole. The majority thinks he should have just complimented her food and left it at that. You have a different opinion? Please let us know in the comments below. This is a story of how one worker stood their ground despite heavy pressure from coworkers. Let's get into it. Am I the toll for refusing to give up my vacation days so my coworker can go on her honeymoon. I work at a small company where vacation time is limited and requests must be made months in advance. I submitted mine almost a year ago for a 2-week vacation during the holidays to visit family who's abroad, which is a trip I rarely get to make. Recently, a coworker who's getting married asked me to give up my vacation days so that she can go on her honeymoon. She hadn't realized how quickly the schedule would fill up and missed her chance to request the time off. Since I booked the longest block, she came to me first. I apologized, but I explained, I can't give up my trip since it's the only chance I have to see my family this year. She accused me of being selfish and for not accommodating her once-in-a-lifetime event. Now, other coworkers are pressuring me, claiming that I should be more flexible because I don't have any special circumstances, such as a wedding. I feel bad, but I planned this trip far in advance, and it's deeply important to me. Am I the bad guy for not giving up my vacation? Alright, let's see what Reddit commenters had to say. The most common feedback was that the coworker should have planned her honeymoon earlier. One person said, procrastination on your part does not make it an emergency on mine. It seems most people feel that the worker should not have been expected to give up her time. There was also a lot of support for the worker's family trip, which was an important event. A 2-week vacation to see family abroad is a special circumstance, one comment said. But not everyone agreed. A small group said the worker could have been a bit more flexible for the honeymoon. One comment mentioned, a honeymoon should come first. Well, here's the breakdown of the opinions. 85% of people said the worker did the right thing by not giving up her vacation. They argued it's unfair to ask her to cancel. Only about 15% thought that she could have been a bit more flexible. What do you think? Would you give up your vacation? Let us know in the comments below. This story started as a harmless joke, but it spiraled completely out of control, so you will not want to miss what I'm about to read. I've been telling people at work that I'm a Leo, which I'm actually not, in an attempt to create a long con prank to prove to them that astrology is utter bullshit. But my plan is getting out of hand, and I don't think I can follow through on my big reveal. I think astrology is one of the dumbest, most unscientific things you could believe in. Honestly, I would judge someone less for believing the earth is flat or for being a Scientologist. At least Scientology has an established lore written by a limited number of people, while anyone can write a horoscope for any small town newspaper and people still follow their local little blurb's advice. Anyway, there's a group of coworkers at my job that are really into astrology. They're always talking about signs, compatibility. It didn't work out because he's a Gemini, etc. Sometimes they talk about people at work and their personality traits based on their signs. When they asked me, I told them a fake birthday without knowing the sign associated with it. Turns out, I'm a Leo. They practically fell all over themselves saying how much sense it made. You have such a creative spirit, you're so generous, or my favorite, you're so vital. We're all pretty friendly, so I thought it would be funny to reveal later that I'm not a Leo at all and see how they'd react. Unfortunately, one of my bosses believes being a Leo makes me uniquely suited for various projects, and I've landed some good opportunities because of it. After a presentation to the clients, I was told that my Leo spirit helped the team through a tough deadline. Now, I'm genuinely worried someone will figure out my real birthday, since I work for a big company, and there's a chance some auto-generated email or post is going to congratulate the October birthdays. I'm stuck in a lie based on nonsense, and I'm not sure what to do. I'll probably never tell anyone at work, so I figured I'd tell strangers online in the hopes I don't get found out and face some weird disciplinary action. Imagine my boss firing me for pretending to be a Leo. That's such a Pisces thing to do. This story has a few edits. Here's number 1. I'm absolutely loving people saying that's such a Libra thing to do. It's just like a Libra to get into situations like this. I said I was born in October, but didn't specify the date. I'm not a Libra either. Edit number 2. People defending astrology by explaining the celestial movements. That's not the convincing argument you think it is. Edit number 3. Kidding, I am a Libra. So all those people saying that's so Scorpio, you're the ones that are in the wrong. Or is that what a Scorpio would say to throw you off the trail? Who knows? So maybe this is all an elaborate thought experiment. That's so Libra of me. Or is pretending I'm a Libra the Scorpio move? All right, let's take a look at what Reddit commenters had to say. Here's the first one. A lot of people could not believe how astrology was affecting work decisions. One user said, "Your boss gives you work opportunities based on your star sign? What kind of an unprofessional workplace do you work at?" Others could not stop laughing, and they made hilarious comparisons to Seinfeld. Someone wrote, "This is a Seinfeld episode and this is George." That's just spot on. Number 3, a few commenters reflected on the situation seriously. One even said, "The boss knows that the OP, or original poster, lied about their sign and is pranking them back." It's a very interesting turn of events. And now, let's reveal the opinion of the internet. About 80% of the people thought the whole situation was hilarious and crazy. They saw it as a funny and relatable office moment. However, 15% were a bit concerned, thinking it was unprofessional to let astrology influence work decisions.